recording?
I just restarted the recording.
Okay. All right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, all three at the same time. This is the Issues Committee, November 25th, and we're at 6:06 this evening. We'll take roll. Vic?
Here.
Alonzo?
Yep.
Christina?
Here.
Mr. Dan?
Here.
And if Mr. Adrian's listening and can say here, that'd be great. Okay.
Well, you got to call the others too.
Well, really? We got others?
You have others on the committee.
Didn't I just, oh, me?
And
John,
Cynthia.
I'm here.
And Cynthia.
Cynthia? Not here.
So that would be considered unexcused unless she said something to you about
Not to me. She hasn't said anything. Okay. Let me bring up the agenda.
Sparkling agenda.
I'm going to say this. There's Matthew, I know you're a student. Ethan, are you a student? And Adani, are you a student? Raise your hands.
Good boy.
Adani, you're not a student? I guess not. Okay. All right. Now let me bring up the agenda.
Ah.
All right.
Just for the record, that means Adrian is currently unexcused too, because we don't know that he's there.
Yeah. Vic, you know the pages that are on the left side?
Yeah.
Can I get rid of them so that the agenda could squeeze over a little, or?
There should be,
Just zoom in.
or that there should be if you scroll over to the left, there should be a way to get rid of that, but the other way is to zoom in.
Yeah.
No, plus.
No, I know that, but I just wanted to see what that would do. Okay. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also,
we'll
Adrian is in the meeting. He's in attendees.
He's what?
He's in attendees.
I'll move him over.
Okay, thanks.
Okay,
so
Adrian is here after all.
Okay.
Hello, sorry, it's been a long week.
Well, how come we got a Adrian's note taker?
Oh, remove that. It's because when Kane does his minutes, he does it with Otter. So when I tried looking at the minutes, I ended up signing up for it. So kick the note taker out.
Okay, hang on here.
I got it.
Thank you. Okay. So there we go. All right, so let's start off with, anybody have any public comment on non-agenda items?
Uh,
Go ahead, Dan.
I forgot how to raise my hand here.
No, just go ahead.
Toolbar at the top. Okay, got it. All right. Just general comment. We all shared the excitement of the fire in the harbor the other night. That was pretty dramatic, but glad there were no injuries that we know of. And the situation was taken care of. Just good to see that the city, the fire, the first responders, and all the employees involved in dealing with the fire seem to have done a really good job. And I know there were some questions about whether the alerts came, or there was an alert to everybody about the fire, but the recall of the alert or the end of the alert, I'm not sure that that actually officially came. Maybe somebody else knows that, but it seemed like the all clear came, if it came at all from the city, came really kind of late and maybe not consistently. I don't know. But other than that, it was a dramatic incident that could have been a precursor of something terrible. And I'm glad it wasn't. And everybody involved seemed to do a really good job.
That was kind of, kind of scary there. But anybody else? Okay, we'll move on to, well,
I've got my hand up.
I can't see it. I don't know why.
He did say anybody else, and you never replied. So
Well, I had my hand up for a while. I thought he might have seen that. So
No, because what happens when somebody else comes, you disappeared.
Oh, you have to bring up the participants panel separately. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Right now I got you guys. I can see all of you on the side. Yeah.
There was eventually a rescission of the shelter in place, but I think I got it about 36 hours after they actually did it.
Better late than never.
So, yeah. But that's all.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other students in the attendees have any public saying? Okay. All right, let's move on. So, Adrian and Christina, the update on the letter for the city department regarding the alley repair.
So I am still working on it. I'll say for the most part. Got some stuff come up, so hopefully we'll bring it back in January. I apologize for the delay.
And we're just going to do the alley, correct?
Yes, just the alley. Yes.
Okay. Okay, Christina, did you have anything you wanted to say? You got to unmute yourself.
There we go. No.
Okay.
Nice.
Not a problem.
I'm terrible with this.
Well, you know what?
I need a class.
Just need, you can leave yourself unmuted if you want.
Okay.
All right. Let's go on to the next. Discussion on a list of priorities to be pursued by world-class city, number 1, public safety, number 2, protection and maintenance, and number 3, clean water and conservation. Conservation.
Yeah.
So,
well,
Dan, do you want to explain that?
I plead guilty for having this on the agenda. It was really maybe a fever dream thinking about what's going on in the city, and maybe it's a holiday wish list. But I wanted to talk to everybody here because things like repairs of alleys and needing a stop sign here and there, and why do they put stop signs where they put them, and why aren't parks maintained better, and that sort of thing. are always part of our discussion. And I believe I feel this way, and I think most of the committee members have expressed a similar feeling at one time or another, that it's frustrating that there aren't funds available to keep up with some of the basic, what we might, citizens might consider the basic functions of operating a city. Some of the things that seem obvious to us as requiring attention seem to get the least attention from anybody in the city family. And I know this is complicated by the way the city is financed. There's general fund money, there's grant money, there's money from the federal government, there's money from the state government. There are special taxes and special projects that are funded not off the books, but not as part of the general budget, but they are budget items. And so it is very complicated. And I think I've said this before. This is hard work, getting the city to run properly. But in light of the fact that the Olympics are rushing towards us headlong, and we'll be here in, my goodness, am I correct? Less than 2 years?
Yeah.
So it seemed like only yesterday it was 8 years from now, but now it's less than 2 years. And I feel confident that the city will rise to the occasion as it did in 1984. But this time, we are told that if there is a deficit at the end of the Olympics, that the citizens of the city will need to step up and pay for it. Now, I suppose that could change, and I'm sure it'll be argued about, but it is to me an example of the city having grand, overarching plans of what the city would like to see happen within its confines. But these plans are not always backed up by realistic schemes for financing them or making them come out right. And it feels noticeable here in Los Angeles, in this big city where if you look on any street corner or along any freeway, at any freeway exit, the place is a mess. And I hope that as part of the road to the Olympics, items like that will be taken care of. It's basic cleanup. But it goes back to the issue that we've talked about off and on in this committee. Where is the money set aside to do the basic work of keeping the city clean and manageable and workable? There are so many different things, and this is a huge subject. I know that, but it's something I hope to keep an eye on as we move forward. How often have we heard from city officials, well, we can't do anything in any park, because there's not enough money for any park in the city, for all the parks in the city. We have to distribute funds equitably and fairly, but we really don't have that many funds to start with. And it doesn't, of course, just pertain to parks. It pertains to the simplest things: street sweeping, street light repair, all kinds of things that affect the quality of life, that affect our opinion of how this city operates and how we feel about our city. And I'm concerned, I guess, that the people in charge, the people downtown who control all the money that is put into the city to make it operate, sometimes, often have different agendas than many of the citizens in the city. And I think I'm just trying to start a discussion here. The reason I put public safety and protection and maintenance, and I'm not sure protection is the word I was looking for, but I put it in. Clean water and conservation of water. What I was thinking about is things that the city actually has control over through the monies it receives. The airport gets a lot of money, the port gets a lot of money from other sources, and in fact, the airport and the port give part of their funds back to the city to put into the general fund. And that's all well and good. But we here in the neighborhood councils don't have a lot of control over that. Nor does the city. The city doesn't have a lot of control over huge swings in the economy, a downturn in air travel that affects incoming revenue. The ports have been booming, and that's great, but maybe there'll be a time when the ports aren't booming. And what's going to happen to the funds that are transferred from the port to the city? It's a huge balancing act. I know it's very hard, and I know that there are a lot of smart people working on it, but I feel like down here in the neighborhood, we hear it from our constituents, our neighbors, our friends, our family. Why is this a problem? Why is anything that you bring up, why isn't that tree ever trimmed? Why is there so much, why is there so much trash in the streets? The list is endless. Why can't I get that alley fixed behind my house? The little things lead to the big things. And it's not, of course, it's not any one thing. It's a state of mind. The state of mind that I think we find ourselves in is, this is the city we love. We live here. We want it to work right. And sometimes it feels like it's not working right. And I just want to see how people think, how people feel. And I want to focus on things, I guess, that we believe our city council could do things about. They are involved in a lot of world-shaking issues and problems, which I don't even need to mention here, that take up, frankly, the majority of their time. But while the less fortunate members of our community need help and are given help, some of the less obvious, perhaps, but just as important things that make a city great tend to get overlooked. And I wanted to just put that out there and see how you all feel, see what you think.
Adrian had his hand up. I will tell you this much. The Los Angeles International Airport, when you were saying airports to contribute, I know at the time, 10 years ago, 11 years ago, the airport was probably LAX was making, roughly getting somewhere between $12 to $20 million, depending how much the revenue was. But the airport, a big chunk of the money that the city gets comes from the airport, LAX. And so, yeah, you're right. Adrian?
No, I just wanted to relay off of Dan, and I really agree with Dan. I think that the city is really shooting themselves in the foot. I can probably give one example, that's like the Shine LA. And I think it's a great initiative. But I mean, average people, I think average Angelinos shouldn't be, volunteering their time to come out and start cleaning streets that we as taxpayers pay to clean. And the reason why they're not being clean is because of the mismanagement of the city.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I mean that's just sort of my opinion on it, but I agree with Dan.
Anybody else? Anybody want to hone in on this?
There's a lot to hone in on.
Go ahead, Christina. Did you want to say something?
Yes, I was just going to say I too agree with Dan, and there should always be funds allocated for the maintenance of our local areas, aside from volunteers having to go out and clean up streets and whatnot. But it seems like the city is always broke, and maybe we need to improve our volunteer base, which isn't a fix, but so that we have areas that are cleaned up. I know that there's the ones that do the painting and clean up special areas here in San Pedro, but it's hard for an entire city to do that.
Well, and it's true. If you want to, Dan and I had researched this. Look, when we talked to them about fixing the sidewalks and taking some trees out that now are too old and the roots are going into people's lawns, and when they told us, well, you know what, it's cheaper to pay if they sue us, it's cheaper to pay out. And when they start paying $50-60 million a year, the other second answer to that was, well, doesn't come out of our budget. There's another section that budget comes out of. So that's why they really don't care, because it's not their, it doesn't come away from them, but somebody else. The money's coming still from the city, if you think about it, and it's $50-60 million that can be used to repair these sidewalks, repair these alleys, but they'd rather give it to somebody who's suing for $6-7 million. But it just doesn't make any sense.
Well, and in fairness, I think I've said this before, and it's true. It's true. The city, if I'm stepping on somebody who had their hands up, I apologize. It just seems that the city has to, of course, set funds aside for lawsuits. That's the price of doing business as a company or as a government or any entity knows. And there's a big argument about when is it appropriate to fight it the city, for instance. When is it appropriate to fight it or just settle it? And the numbers that come up in these settlements are appalling to ordinary people. 20, 30, 40, $50 million is unbelievable. But the thought of a jury awarding 10 times that is even more frightening. So it's really tough. But in thinking about budgeting and running the city, et cetera, as I've said before, there is money to dream. There's money to do projects initially, but there's very little money to maintain or repair infrastructure. And I think what I'm really talking about here in all of this is infrastructure, because it's the physical world is what we see and touch and deal with every day. Of course, there are huge social issues and tending to the poor, tending to folks with substance abuse and that kind of thing. That's really a kind of it's soft in the sense that you're not dealing with infrastructure, except human infrastructure. But in thinking about how the city runs, it's not, I don't know, everything I reach for is a cliche, but we're a huge family living in an old house with a lot of leaks in the roof and a lot of plumbing leaks and a lot of cracked foundations. And the population continues to grow. We put more and more people into this big old house, but we don't seem to have the will or the capacity to improve, to make the basic improvements needed to keep the physical infrastructure going for another 40, 50, 60 years. We're looking into the future at all. It's really tough, but I think the city family has to give it some real thought, some genuine thought. And I just don't hear about it in talk about the budget, or what's going to be on the agenda for next year. Or it's frustrating, because we come back to our little committee here, and Adrian and Christina are writing a letter, hopefully to influence people to take better care of a very important part of our neighborhoods. But we all know going into this that alleys and streets, for that matter, are low on the priority list, because there's always something more important. But I think that it's important for people running for office in this city, and we at the lowest level are office holders, but to the folks in the highly paid positions downtown, it's important for them to think beyond one constituency or one segment of the people they're working for, and they need to look at the big picture. How to repair this house that we all have to live in. I wish somebody would take that on, and I just haven't heard it in the public domain.
Go ahead, Christina.
So I was going to mention two quick points. First thing is that I think that maybe an overall issue is transparency and accountability from our politicians, and also from budget. That how do we better, I hate to use the word police or supervise, but so that I don't know how we do it, but that's something that maybe needs to be considered. And then it also is kind of a PR campaign technically for the city, because if the frame of mind is it's cheaper or easier to pay off a lawsuit, that's bad publicity for the city anyhow. So why not make things right and not pay out all those additional legal fees, and just try and be present as human beings and try and be accountable? But I don't know how. I don't even know what the process would be for this.
Well, that's right. The process is so complicated and so governed by, clearly, rules made in the public interest, and tradition and everything else, that breaking out of a particular situation is tough. And it requires new thinking. It requires different thinking. And that's hard. That's hard in a controlled situation.
So to get the ball rolling, do we need to somehow put together a CSI, or what's something that we can do to start taking action?
I wonder. That's an excellent question. I think it's something like that. And I realize this is a huge subject, because at the root, it forces anybody in charge to look at how they're doing things and maybe rethink some of it. And that's a lot to ask when people are busy and people are elected to represent certain interests. But boy, transparency is certainly a word that should enter the discussion, because I feel as if, and I don't think this is just an emotional response, I think it's a reality that virtually every day in the local press. There are ethical questions of concern about people in public positions, and that's another side of the coin, I guess. But transparency in how projects are approved, in what's involved in the projects, and how projects will be managed and maintained and financed over the long term really needs a lot more attention than it's gotten. So, yay, transparency. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Well, we have, there's three sections of this, the public safety, the protection of and maintenance, and then the clean water and conservation of water. So what we could do is let's continue with this in the upcoming months. We could take on public safety first and what we've got to do. And then the next thing we can, once we get public safety, the letter and all of this other stuff and what then we do our homework on the protection and maintenance, which we know maintenance would be the parks and this and that, and the protection of the parks. Number two, and then we go into the clean water and conservation. So instead of trying to do all three at one time and make one letter,
right,
it would make sense.
Pushing the issue back more and more, you're just delaying it another month, right?
Yeah, but listen, we can sit here all night, and but it's something that we've got. You know what to do. You start thinking of stuff, writing it down for, let's say, public safety. What are we looking for? Can buses be safer? Can we have street stop signs over here? Can we do, what can we do to keep the children's safety? We do the signs and make sure they're posted like what we did in public safety that we did. And, we put up signs and you just gotta, everybody has to contribute and we all sit and put it together and then take the topics and the highlights of what is going to do some damage if we write a letter, because it better be a damn good one. If we want them to be, to notice, hey, this stuff is not being unnoticed,
Don,
Yeah.
may I say, let me take one step back here. When I made this list, which was frankly off the top of my head, I was thinking, when you visit another city, what is it that you see that makes an impact on you? Do you feel safe? Does the city look well kept? And I picked water. I picked water because we're all asked to conserve everything these days. That everything we consume, we are also asked to conserve. And water is something that the city's intimately involved in every day. And I feel pretty confident that our drinking water is safe, but is the water, are water resources being used effectively in the city? And of course, and I picked water because the city has the most direct influence over that resource, as opposed to, DWP is a separate entity for electricity, and there are all sorts of different organizations that provide services and provide functions within the city, but that the city doesn't entirely control. So that's why I added water in there. And I think, I'd love it if we just take one topic and say, okay, we're going to talk about this topic and we're going to see what would make sense. Just to go back one more time to trees and sidewalks. We know we want sidewalks repaired. We know we want it done in a sane manner, where it's not just a 100-year list that is ticked off one sidewalk at a time or one street at a time, whether it needs it or not, with no sense of priority and that sort of thing. We know there's a way that sidewalk repairs and that sort of thing can be done more effectively, and with more input from the people who need them. So I'm frustrated with myself because I don't come to you with any kind of solution. I come to you with a statement of what I think is an issue for this city. The fact that it's a great city, but it is hamstrung by the system that runs it. And being hamstrung leads to disappointment with our physical accommodation here in the city. So I appreciate everyone thinking about it. And it's as we approach the end of the year here and think about the new year, I would like it to be something we look at overall. And as John says, if we can pick something that is obvious, maybe alleys. Let's start with alleys, and that's where we are. That's an important physical feature of the city, but there are many others. And I'd like to remind our elected representatives, because it is part of our function to advise our elected representatives, that this city is a precious resource, and we need to think of ways to improve it without breaking the bank, but by making our physical infrastructure, our physical world here in the city, a little gentler, a little cleaner, and a little more functional. Thanks for listening.
All right, we could do that. We can, I'll have it. I'll put on the next agenda that we'll start off with the first one with public safety, meaning sidewalks and trees.
Yeah.
Let's see what we can do with that. That's one of the biggest issues we've got right now.
And it's one we've talked about, and I think we can drill down on it a little bit.
Yeah,
and,
I think with everybody putting their 2 cents into it and coming up, if they're, let me put it to you this way. I mean, I'll go out with Dan or Adrian. We'll go driving and we'll take pictures. Every street we go up and down, we'll see how bad the trees are. And if you're out and about, take some photos and write down the street that it's on. Okay.
That would be helpful.
That would be very helpful. And that way we can put the photos together. We could even almost make a little pamphlet and send it and go, look, these sidewalks are ridiculous. These trees are about ready to come up off of their roots, and they need to be fixed. We can't have sidewalks like this. And if we start doing little by little like that, we have a chance. So that's why I'm asking everybody to, like I said, take photos, give us the street that it's on. You could say it's on Gaffey between, Channel and what's the street over there where the public building on the corner of
one of those streets there.
Battery. Sorry, between Channel and Battery.
Yeah.
So that's what we want to know. Something like that.
That's the beginning. Yes, I think I'd like to hear as many voices as possible involved in this.
Yeah. So if you guys all can help out and do your part, we could do it. But we got to do this together. It's not just the one. It's the same thing I push for every year. It's not the same people that come to the booth. There's 17 of us. We have to have more people to help work out the booth. So, but that's what we need here. It's the only way we're going to fight it. The more people, the better we have a chance. So,
and I don't describe it really as a fight or as a war. it's a process of encouraging
Yeah.
our city to do better.
And it's to let them know we care about our community and we
Right.
care about our city. And
Yes.
that's what we want them to feel, hey, these guys are, boy, they're really pushing. These guys must really, we don't want it looking like a desert, So
Well,
whatever we can do.
not a trash heap, that's for sure. We
Yeah.
are a desert. We can't change that.
No,
But a clean desert. How's that?
that's good. That's
Yeah.
better. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So we'll move on to, well, I guess the mitigations through maintenance of site.
Yeah, we've done that. I
Yeah.
think that might have been item 4. I don't know.
Yeah, we could have included it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess, has anyone heard anything more about 5 points?
Yeah, we'll go to number 6. Does anybody know anything about what's going with still anything with 5 points? And do they have other use of the property surrounding Phillips?
Well, yeah. What effect will the project have on other use properties? Boy, if I wrote this sentence, I apologize. It makes no sense.
Yeah, you did. I just copied.
No, should have edited myself. The 5 Points project is a grand project. It's a multi-year project. It will alter the north end of San Pedro and the west side of Wilmington dramatically forever. But what I'm interested about here is the areas surrounding the Phillips property will substantially be the same as they've always been. And I'm just wondering what the effect will be when there are millions of square feet of storage units, in effect, the warehouses, which are served by hundreds, if not thousands of trucks a week. Those trucks, that's different than it is now. Certainly the refinery has had truck traffic in and out, but relatively less than there will be with these new warehouses going up. And as you've noticed around here in San Pedro, especially with the bridge isn't even closed yet. And surface streets are becoming quite densely populated with trucks, with container trucks. And when this Phillips property is developed fully, it'll be like a distribution center out in the Inland Empire with hundreds of trucks a day coming in and out of it. But really only maybe one dedicated freeway off-ramp and only one way in and out of the property, as I understand the way they have it planned.
Yeah, they have it where it's gonna, they're gonna be able to go on to John Gibson. They're gonna go in from John Gibson and they're gonna come out from John Gibson. And that gives them access to go left to go on the freeway and left to go and make a right on Harry Bridges, which turns into Alameda.
Yeah.
But that is all they're giving them, is they're just all the trucks for the high tier and the low tier buildings. They'll come in and out of that one section, and that's it. Nothing's going to go to Gaffey or nothing. It's just all of it's going to be on John Gibson.
So again, poor Wilmington gets the short straw, and Wilmington will one way or another feel the effects of all these trucks in and out of there. And I'm sure San Pedro will too. We're apparently asking John Gibson Boulevard to do a lot of heavy lifting for many, many trucks every day.
Yeah.
And I think the project, as I've seen it designed, looked at it, seems great, but far preferable to oil refinery in terms of the existing here in the community. But still, if you think of all the trucks in and out of the distribution center on Westmont, which is relatively small compared to this, well, it's big, but the new one will be much bigger. If I'm correct, 6 million square feet of storage warehouse space. That's a lot. And
Yeah.
I just, on behalf of the citizens of Wilmington and San Pedro, I think folks in these communities need to be made aware of this, and we need to be asking questions of the developers about how traffic will be managed. This comes up every time there's a development, Ponte Vista on Western, and any other project that happens here in San Pedro. Questions are asked about traffic, but in the starry-eyed version of what the new project will be up there, I don't think you'll find much mention about how to handle all the traffic coming in and out of the local neighborhoods to this new facility. If it can all be handled on the freeway and John Gibson Boulevard, well, good. My guess is that's not what's going to happen, though, because it's never been the case before.
So this is another one on this discussion, 5 point. If anybody for the next meeting can come up with anything and find out any information we can on what the 5 points, what that project is going to be like.
I should know this, but I don't. Has the public comment period closed, or has it run into December?
Not
I
what do you
can
mean?
answer that. So the final day for neighborhood councils to respond is December 12th.
Oh,
December 12th.
no.
After December 12th is the final commenting period. And I think right after that, they're going to go into the EIR process.
Okay. Well, so my wife informs me I'm too late, probably. Well, the EIR process, in our experience, is a lengthy one. And what we're talking about here is questions that need to be asked that it's a requirement of the people formulating the EIR to respond to questions brought to them. And I believe that if the 12th is the last day for neighborhood council input, it may not be the last day for public input. And anybody asking a legitimate question is entitled to an answer. So I would just say any concerns you have that you don't find addressed in the plan for the development, you should think about writing down and submitting them, because it has to be looked at. It's a requirement that they look at questions sent in and respond to concerns. That's how an EIR works.
Yeah.
So I should be writing this question that I have down. Okay.
All right.
You should submit it as a committee.
Yeah, John.
Instead of an individual.
Yeah, it would be good if we can come up with something. And well, I don't want to beat the horse here. Let's I'll look into if what I'm saying is true, that they can continue to accept comments up to a certain point. Well, I'll find out.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, that does conclude. I got one thing I wanted to ask you guys.
Hey, Vic had his hand up too, by the way.
Who?
Vic.
Oh, I didn't. He changed here again. Go ahead, Vic.
not only is there the traffic on the surface streets, but there's also the traffic coming off the freeway, because if those additional trucks are going to have to get from the southbound harbor to Gibson Boulevard, I don't remember if I heard or saw anything about a separate or additional off-ramp that would help them get to where that entrance is going to be on Gibson Boulevard. If there is not going to be an additional one, that means they're going to come off a channel, which means you not only have the trucks that are coming off now, but you're going to have the additional trucks that are going to go basically make a circle U-turn off channel immediately in the right lane of Gaffey and making a right on off at the channel off ramp, making an immediate right and staying in the right lane of Gaffey, and then making an immediate right onto channel to then go and turn left on Gibson.
Here. Yep.
Which is going to, depending on how many trucks are coming at one time, that's going to be a heck of a lot more traffic than it is now.
Yeah.
So
and
you're going to have trucks coming off there going straight through Gaffey, straight through channel on Gaffey to get to the current distribution center, assuming, unless they change the way that works. And then also coming off of the same off-ramp, turning right onto channel to go to Gibson. So
Correct.
That is going to be a big traffic jam if they don't have some mitigation process to deal with that.
And the only other alternates coming south on the 110 are
Harbor,
Anaheim, which is not an option.
Right. And then
would not work, and PCH.
And then you've also got,
and as you all know, coming south in the evening, 223rd and Sepulveda and PCH, long lines form just to get cars off, let alone trucks.
Well, and then you've also got, once they build up the non-warehouse area, I guess you could call it, the more family-oriented public shopping area type thing.
Yes,
is kind of the plan they have now. You're going to have the traffic that's going to go from this, possibly from the same direction coming off channel, or at least from the residences in that area, going down Gaffey to turn right on Anaheim. You're going to have other traffic coming off on like Figueroa area to get to the same location across from Harbor Park to go in. So you're going to have the truck traffic coming off some areas. You're going to have the basically car and small automotive traffic going to the shopping, amusement, whatever this area is going to be. So that's going to be a lot more traffic than is going there now.
And the traditional commuter traffic from Anaheim, the PCH to Palos Verdes.
Right, go in that direction, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a lot for these streets to bear. And as long as it was an oil refinery and you had most of the stuff going out on pipelines, it seemed manageable. Maybe or maybe not, but it seemed manageable. This could be an entirely different picture, and
a lot less motor vehicle traffic.
Yes, and I think we need to. I should have done it before, but this needs to be looked at hard in the EIR process.
Well, and if the last day for neighborhood councils to submit comments is the 12th, and if we don't have anything now, then we won't have anything for the board meeting unless something's coming out of planning and land use.
when is the, oh, it hadn't occurred to me that the people who are experts on this might be doing something.
Haven't we already submitted comments though?
What?
That came out of planning and land use?
I don't know.
I don't
not sure.
remember.
I know
When when is the board meeting in December?
the 8th.
The
The
8th.
8th.
Oh, so it's early.
I can double check. I do remember Kane brought something to the board. I think it was
Okay.
September.
Well, and I know there was something that he had planned to bring to the last board meeting, but he didn't get it submitted on time. But I don't know what it's about, and I haven't gotten anything from
Let me
him for
check the.
this meeting.
I'll check the calendar right now.
Well,
So-
is this, if what we're talking about is questions to be put to the developers, questions that lead to asking for an understanding of how they're going to handle all these things, then would we consider a special meeting of this committee? And I don't want to step on planning and land use. They may have this all figured out already. And we should certainly check with Diana and that committee. But perhaps it's a question, if we're asking questions, then maybe it's something we want to put together and have a special meeting to approve our thoughts about it and send it on to the board for the 8th.
Well, I think the first thing is checking with Kane in planning and land use and find out what they do or don't have in that,
Okay.
for this type of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know Kane.
So, I see that on the October agenda.
Oh,
That on the October agenda,
For planning and land use?
yes, for the board meeting.
Oh, for the board meeting. Okay.
Yes, it seems so that there's a motion passed, or it shows that on the October agenda that there was a motion. It says, discussion and possible action to adopt planning and land use import committee recommend comments on the notice of preparation for the Phillips 66 Five Points Union project. But I don't see the actual letter in the supporting documents.
oh,
So I don't know. And I don't remember much from the October meeting besides the fact my camera wouldn't work.
You're looking on the website where
On the Google Calendar.
Yeah, okay.
And then I just went to the Google Drive for supporting documents.
And
But I don't see the
not
letter in the supporting documents. So I know Central has submitted their comments. Coastal has submitted their comments.
If I remember, that's the one where Thomas read through the letter because it hadn't been submitted to be posted where you're looking.
Okay. Could maybe you could double check the recording, possibly. Just to clarify that.
Yeah.
Because that probably is the other possibility that could have happened. But even though like a month to me feels like forever.
so it's likely that the Planning and Land Use Committee did its work and
Correct.
it is memorialized in a letter somewhere, but we need to find out.
Yes, we need to find out where the letter is.
Okay.
Or let me see. You know what? I might have it in my emails. Let me see.
And I was thinking we can look at the agenda for the planning and land use for October and see if the supporting documentation is there.
Yes. Good point.
Let me see here. Because I feel like I've seen it, but I don't remember where.
Are you checking your email, Adrian?
I'm checking my emails, yes.
Okay. I'll look on the website for the committee.
It has been oh, Vic, this is the one. Remember when Cheryl messed up one of the letters, the body of it?
Oh, the one where it was like or the body was okay, but it was addressed to the wrong person or something like that?
Yes. Here, let me see. I'm gonna forward it to everybody right here. I found it. I found it, guys.
You
I'm gonna
found
forward
the
it
letter?
right.
The
Yes, I
letter?
found the letter.
Oh, good.
Let me
Okay.
see. Let me just. There.
656.
It was sent out by Cheryl on November 3rd.
Oh, good. So is it a CIS?
No, it's just a regular letter.
Oh, okay. Uh-huh.
I'm forwarding it right now.
Right.
Yeah, and on the Google Drive, or it's just the agenda, not all the supporting stuff.
Correct.
Or for the committee itself, not for the board.
Correct. Yes, but I just forwarded the letter that was sent to Kathleen King. So if you guys can just check your emails.
Great.
But yeah, I think Kane wrote this one, and he talks about a lot of different areas like traffic safety, air quality, land use and housing, remediation, job and workforce.
Traffic. Where is it?
Yeah, it's the first one on the
Oh,
letter. It's on the
oh,
first page of the letter.
where it says traffic.
Yeah, right there where it says traffic.
All right. I got you. Well, and this is what they do in the EIR. They do traffic. It's a requirement, or
Traffic study, yeah.
a traffic study is a requirement, and that means going to designated or selected intersections in the area of the project, but away from the project, and trying to predict the impact on those distant intersections based on the anticipated number of vehicles moving into the area because of
Is
the
that
new
what
development.
those yellow cameras that's on like a tripod is? Because I feel like I've seen it before, where they'll have
Doing
like
studies.
yeah, because I feel like I've seen like just walking around that I've seen guys with like a yellow camera on like a yellow tripod, and they're taking pictures of the intersection.
I
It could
thought
be
that was kind of surveyor type people.
that.
I think the traffic studies are usually done by having the black cables with sensors across the
Yeah,
lanes, and
physical
then
count,
they can count how many
physically
vehicles
count
go
Oh,
through and stuff.
vehicles.
I
Yeah,
think.
you're right.
yeah, that's why I'm not sure. So,
But
but
here, okay, well, it says here, uh, traffic study covering Gaffey, John S. Gibson, Anaheim Street, and the 110 freeway, and support construction of a modern roundabout at 5 Points.
which I think would be a havoc, like, to be honest.
Would be
Yeah,
what?
that would be interesting.
That would be very interesting to see a roundabout
Well,
Yeah,
on 5 Point.
if
how
you've been, if
many
you,
people in this area have ever seen a roundabout?
yeah,
Exactly. It's like so foreign down here.
I
you
mean,
know,
there is one over in Long Beach,
the one
but
at
Yeah,
Lakewood Boulevard in Long Beach is,
yeah,
that's
over on
awesome.
PCH.
That's awesome. But that's a huge area.
Terrifying.
It's terrifying, as my wife says in the background. It is terrifying,
that would be very
But we're
but
yeah, but here
it's an
it's too
area.
narrow
It's
over here.
a size that 5 Points does not accommodate.
Yeah,
well,
So
unless they expand it somehow.
exactly, by
yeah,
by tearing out those homes that were built above the park.
Well, there's a gas station, there's that shopping plaza.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
also, isn't that area like city property, not the property of Phillips 66 as well?
Oh yeah. No, well, the deal is that a traffic study that leads to remediation is generally stuff that has to be paid for by the developer as part of the development package. So,
Mm.
for instance, when Ponte Vista was being talked about, there were 20, pick a number, 24, 48 intersections in here in the harbor area that were looked at with reference to how they would be impacted. And the developer had to agree to pay for upgrades. It could be as simple as retiming signals, or adding left turn lanes, or all kinds of stuff that presumably makes traffic move more smoothly, and the developer had to pay for it. That was part of the deal. And I will say, point of personal privilege, when you go to Target on Gaffey, if you're going north on Gaffey, there's a double left turn lane to turn onto Capitol from Gaffey. And that was added as part of the development package for the neighborhood council to approve, to offer our approval for the Target development. And we got it. That's, and the fact that there aren't 60-foot signs advertising Target is because the neighborhood council wrote this package of requests and exceptions to their plan, and they went along with it. There are other things as well that I think we had a real impact on. And that's what neighborhood councils can do. And I hope that the questions that we see here will lead to real tangible results in the quality of the project. I think I question the comprehensive study being limited to the 4 or 5 streets that are mentioned here, because this is such a huge development and such a profound shift in the numbers of trucks coming in to the area on a daily basis, that my guess is they should be looking at more than those streets and those intersections. Develop a truck route management plan to prevent cut-through traffic in residential neighborhoods. That's at the heart of what I'm talking about, and that's an absolute necessity. Now, they can come back and say, we can't do it. And then it's up to, and then it's a question of, can you ameliorate the damage or the difficulty through other means, or can you really not do it? And then it's up to the planning department and ultimately the city council to decide whether they go ahead with the project. It's unlikely that screwing up traffic worse than it is now would have any impact on the city deciding not to do the project. But it certainly needs to be discussed before they start putting up buildings on that property. And again, we must remind ourselves that by the time the refinery is removed and the soil is remediated and the ground is regraded and all that stuff, that's years down the line, several years away. But like the Olympics, it'll creep up on us. So we need to ask these questions now and get some reasonable answers. Hopefully the EIR will offer reasonable answers. In any event, I'm pleased to see this letter. I should have looked for it before, but it's here, and our very fine committees of our neighborhood council have done an excellent job in framing the questions. That's great. But anyway, we as a community need to follow the course of the EIR as it's conducted, and comment wherever possible on the results of the EIR. Thank you. And Adrian, thanks for finding this and putting it up on screen. Very helpful.
Anybody else want to hone in on this? No, huh?
Well, the letter exists. I think this is good work. I don't want to complicate things by making it even more complicated. They've asked the questions, and the questions need to be answered by the developers. And that one phrase, develop a truck route management plan to prevent cut-through traffic on residential streets, that one sentence says a lot.
Yeah.
That is
a big one.
that's a huge project in itself to figure it out. It's an enormous question. And as I say, they may say we can't do anything about it, but then it's up to the planning department to go back and say, well, you better figure something out or we're not going to approve it.
Yep.
And the planning department is just cranky enough and has enough power that they can do that.
Well, and even as things are now, there are some of the big trucks. In fact, I was right behind one over the last few days. Was totally unrelated to this. Was turned up Gaffey, or went Gaffey, made a left on Westmont, and went into the Home Depot area property off of Westmont. And they're not supposed to do that. They're only supposed to go off of Gaffey.
That's right.
And he actually went up the curb, and a little bit worse of a turn, he would have taken out part of a wall or some kind of barrier or something when he was turning in there.
Well, and I think
so. That's another thing, is that if to make this work, they're going to have to do some kind of enforcement to make sure that the trucks go where they're supposed to.
That's true. Now, human nature being what it is, there will be mistakes made. And there, occasionally, but it's an occasional misstep like that is one thing, but to not have planned in the first place so that trucks regularly do that would be a shame.
Right.
That would be wrong. So anyway, very interesting. Very interesting. This is a good letter.
All right.
That Ray Regalado guy's pretty good.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
And isn't he the guy at Sirens? Oh. Anyway.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody.
So our next meeting's in November of 2026.
Yeah, today, November 25th.
Yeah. So I want to bring this up because I know that next month we're on the 23rd, which is, of course, the 24th, Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve.
So we could either have a meeting or we can cancel because we're so close. And I know kids are out of school. I don't know what plans people have. Do we want to cancel the meeting and bring it up, and we'll resume our meeting in January?
Well, at this point, is there anything that needs to be done to prepare for the January board meeting?
Well, what we've discussed, if people can go around and we could take pictures of sidewalks and stuff like that.
But that would still need to be developed here in the committee, John. That wouldn't lead.
Well, that's my point. Is there anything that we need we need to do at a December meeting, if we have it?
That's right. I'm sorry.
To be able to have it ready to go to the board in January.
Yeah.
If not, then we.
Well, no, I don't think we would have. First of all, if people go out in these next month and a half before our January meeting, if they have photos and addresses and stuff like that, then we can and then hopefully January we'll be back at the city hall, and then we could all bring these photos and stuff and choose what we want to see, and just we could do it that way, and then we can write up and make a proposal and bring it to the February board. This is not something we're going to do overnight, but if everybody can get photos and what they see wrong, how high is it that it's messed up, how far down the street where does it start, and where does it pass the tree, and where does it end? So we know, is it 20 feet of sidewalk? Is it 40 feet of sidewalk? You guys have to determine that when you take the photo. And how much is the sidewalk up half a foot, 2 feet. In some areas, I've seen it as far as 2 feet. And I've seen the curbs also start being busted out. So if we do that, and then we can sit and talk about what we're going to say on the letter by looking at the photos and seeing how bad these things are. And
John, you're right about that. All of this is still separate from the alley letter,
right,
which Christina and Adrian are going to have
correct.
more in January. Is that what I heard?
Yeah.
So I would say,
Yeah, I
maybe,
would
maybe
think
we
that
don't need a December meeting. I don't know.
Yeah. Is everybody in agreement?
Oh, we'll cancel anyway.
Agreement
And
with
also
what?
that we don't have a December meeting, we will rejoin in January.
Yeah. I mean, as long as there's nothing that we need to have ready for the January board meeting, then yeah, that's fine.
No, we're not going to, because we've got to still do all of this stuff here. So, and also gives us a chance to get as much information as we can on 5 points. We just go, and then we just bring it all in the January meeting, and we can't, we do both things. Maybe we just have, it'll be the discussion to pursue, the public safety part of it and the 5 points. And that'll be our 2 subjects for the meeting in January.
Committee meeting.
Committee meeting, yes. We all in agreement?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
Then I will put a cancellation for the meeting when it comes time.
And John, for the love of God, post that cancellation at the police station.
Yes, I will. Because I gotta do the youth and outreach.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I promise Vic I
Yeah,
do it.
somebody keeps complaining about that.
Everybody.
And John, I have a quick question regarding, getting community photos and whatnot. Is there any way we can do like a Google survey on our webpage or email it out via newsletter so that
Ooh.
we have not just like, I have the 5
Good idea.
streets I walk my dogs, and then the street I go to the grocery store. And that's kind of my little bubble, which isn't all of Northwest San Pedro.
Well, I was talking more or less as you're driving around in San Pedro. If you see a spot that's really bad, take the photos and put down, where the street it's at and everything. Might not be a bad way that we can do that.
You could get input from the community that way too.
Right. So let me think that one out, and I'll get with maybe I'll get with Ray. And let's see what we can do. It wouldn't be bad to put, to have something out there that, maybe we can put it on our website, because people do look at our website. They do go on it, that we can do and ask for photos, put it on our Facebook page, that we are looking for people that if you have bad sidewalks in the Northwest area, say from Taper down to 19th Street, wherever our cutoffs are, and take photos and send us the photos with the street that it's on.
Yeah, maybe we can
and
create
give them
like
and we can have an email. Vic, we have an email, don't we, from the Northwest?
For the board, we do, yeah.
So if we do it to the board, it's going to go to the board?
No, that one is the one like that we have at the bottom of the agenda. just the board at nwsmpedro.org. That only goes to a few people. That does not go to the entire
Board.
Yeah, see, I won't
board.
see that.
Right. Go up. Bottom of bottom of the previous page. I think I saw it. Right there.
Right here.
That's the email address that is the public.
NWSanPedro.org.
Yeah. But that only goes to a few people. That does not go to every board member.
Oh, okay.
It would be nice if we had just a specific spot where it could go to, like a Google survey where it feeds everything in. We have a form so that we don't get like a 12-page letter from somebody about complaints, and we just are asking, they get
Well,
120 characters per field and 3 photographs or something like that.
Well, that's just it. We got to that's why I say we got to have to sit down and think this one out. They're going to have to just send us the photos and the street. We don't want to hear about, I've been living here for 23 years. I walked down this road, and next thing you know, we got 5-6 pages and about 6 pictures.
We want to hear that too, but for purposes of what you're talking about, it would be good to have an email address where people can submit photographs, not just for this issue, but others as well. But use this as a test case. And does that involve starting another email address?
Can we do that, Vic? You have a Gmail address?
That would be something we'd have to ask probably Christina.
The senior media consultant. Yes.
Yeah.
Ask her.
Yeah, Christina or Cheryl, because Cheryl's taken over for Christina.
But I don't know if she has that decision-making capability for this.
Yeah. I think, John, this can go upstairs to Christina.
Yeah, so I can give Christina Smith a call.
You can always kick it back to us.
Yeah, I'll give Christina a call here in the next day or two.
Yeah, I think it's a real simple, seemingly simple way to allow people to communicate with all of us on the committee.
Yeah.
And maybe it's a specific email to the committee. issues.nwsanpedro.org. That's the email address, something like that.
And we would need to set a time limit, only open from December 11th through January 8th or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It might actually be longer than that, but yes, there should be
to start
an initial frame of reference. Yes.
Yeah.
And that info can go out on the website, I guess.
Yeah, that we can put on the website. And then when we do the meeting, of course, Mr. Adrian can bring his laptop and we could see,
or perhaps what we're asking people to do could go out on the main email blast to the community, which includes everybody, and then
it can go there too.
But then have one discrete address to send your information to, email address. So good. That sounds like it might.
Okay.
It'll work, maybe.
Yeah.
That sounds get some good responses.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our ride at Disneyland.
That's right.
Let me.
Everybody have a wonderful holiday.
So we're all good to know about it. So there's no December meeting. I will cancel it. And you know how to get a hold of us if you got anything or you need to know or you need some help. You know how to get a hold of me, Dan, Vic, Alonzo, Christina, Adrian. So we could, if we need anything, we could talk about it. Or if anybody wants to go around driving on a weekend, let me know, and we can get a couple of us to go around. One take photos, one writes down the streets. That's what Dan and I did, So just let me know, and we can
Thanks.
do that.
Thanks to the students who are still with us. And
Yep.
how do they get credit for this?
Yep, I got their names and everything. I'll send them to Melanie.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, because it was
And
only.
happy Thanksgiving, and see you all at Candy Cane Lane.
That's right. Next Friday, a week from this coming Friday.
Yeah.
There's
And
not going to
Christmas
be any
tree.
time. There's just show up. I just need people to
So,
help set up and help
Next
tear
Friday?
down. The 6th.
Next Friday, the
5th.
5th?
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, okay.
But yeah, he
And
sent
then-
you an
Adrian,
email.
where have you been, Adrian? The 5th, the 6th, and the 7th.
I don't know. I just know I'm gonna be there.
It's
Yeah.
on the email. He sent it to you.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got you on the calendar for all 3 events.
There you
Adrian,
go.
Like I
Adrian,
said,
you have to know
uh,
everything and remember everything.
Yeah.
I
So,
just know
just
I'm gonna
remember
be
it.
there.
Yeah. Oh, just 5th, 6th, and 7th. It's like remembering.
Okay.
It's like remembering Columbus's ships, La Niña, La Pinta, and La Santa Maria. So just remember that.
Thank
Vic's over there
you.
going. He's
I
going.
think Victor
"Ah,
begs
heck
to
did those
differ.
ships
Yeah,
got to do it?"
that correlates perfectly, doesn't it?
It does, right? 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Finally. Hey, by the way, we're still recording, just to let you know.
It's okay. We're not saying anything bad. Vic would have said something by now.
Oh yeah, he would have,
Yeah. So
and you would have too. Don't act innocent. Come on.
yeah, of course. All right, guys.
Alrighty.
So the ending
fun
this
on Thanksgiving.
meeting at 7:32. We're going to stop the recording.
Make sure Vic writes it down.